You've mentioned before you are all things Twitter. So, how did you take, or how do you think Twitter is going to be affected that the CEO and co founder, Jack Dorsey, has stepped down from Twitter?
I think this has been a long time coming. They did oust him once before, and then they brought him back. So I don't think it's really going to have too much effect because the people, Jack has stepped down, but the people that are kind of stepping are the next step in the chain. So it's people who have been with the company since, the beginning, who've been with Jack the whole time, been with
Mm,
Twitter, have different roles. So I think Twitter is a machine. I think it keeps on rolling. I think that the new CEO, Parag Agrawal, I hope I'm saying that correct.
Agrawal.
Agrawal. Yep. I think he'll probably try and make some changes to kind of make his mark as the CEO to maybe try and differentiate himself from the Jack led um, Twitter, but I think it'll probably pretty much be lockstep with the expectation. Some people I saw they were like, "Oh, they're gonna mess around and let Trump come back." Highly unlikely. So those type of things. It's I don't think incestuous is the word that I'm looking for, but it's very family oriented that he was a CTO. Now he's stepping up as a CEO. He's been with Twitter for 10 years. Like I said, he's been in this small family of Twitter leadership. So I don't think it's that huge of a difference. And I think the person that's taking the COO spot, he's been with Twitter a long time. They're kind of moving him up. So I think it's just, the top level is down and they're just kind of like a Pez dispenser. They're just
Hmm.
moving the next one up to kind of fill that slot. So I don't think it'll change Twitter too much. But I think the bigger thing that people might be missing is the fact that Jack Dorsey owns both Twitter and Square. I
Hmm.
think he is really shifting to
Hmm.
focus solely on Square, which was just announced today, has been renamed Block. So I think they're
Oh,
getting
no, I
more
didn't see that.
yeah, it just happened right before we went to air,
Hmm.
where they're going to focus more on cryptocurrency. So
Hmm.
it's not just going to be, Square. Again, it's not Square anymore. It's Block,
Okay.
and they'll still have the same trading name under Square, but I think they're really trying to move away from the old, think of the Square, the little
Hmm.
white box that you do credit card payments. I think they're trying to shift focus from that and to focus more on the crypto space, since that is, pretty much where it's at. And I think this gives him the opportunity to focus solely on Block. And because Twitter, I think, is, I won't say it's on autopilot, but it's in a state where it doesn't really need a lot of hand holding. It's solidified its space in the social media ecosystem. It's doing its own thing. Twitter's not going anywhere. So I think now he can shift his focus over to the now Block to work on getting this crypto space, you know,
And not
really
even just
on a bigger scale.
right, and not just crypto, just digital payments,
Blockchain,
digital,
I think that's where it kind
yeah,
of comes from, the whole blockchain. That's I think that's where the name comes from. But
because title is also wrapped up in there as
yep,
well.
he purchased title too.
Right,
So
right. And I'm pretty sure they'll come up with some ways to, music NFTs and,
pay
entertainment.
artists in crypto.
Yeah,
Like I think
right,
what's the
right.
guy? Odell Beckham. I think
Hmm.
he's getting his whole paycheck now in Bitcoin.
Hmm.
So I think they'll probably find ways to pay their artists in Bitcoin or crypto, whatever cryptocurrency that they choose. I think that's the wave. And I think he realizes that one, they didn't really want him at Twitter anymore anyway. And he's like,
Hmm.
okay, cool. I can go and focus on this new, more exciting thing that I kind of want to do
Hmm.
anyway. So
Hmm.
I think it was just a natural progression. So
Right. And Jack Dorsey mentioned, and we in so many ways kind of agreed that Twitter is harmful. Social media in general can be harmful to how people view themselves, how they view the others, how they view the world. So he probably didn't want none of that.
yeah.
He's seems to be one of those kind of, not aloof, not is not the right word. One of those people who's really don't want to be bogged down with the feelings part of a business. So this, giving him the ability to work on cryptocurrency and blockchain and all this other stuff kind of seems more down his line because,
Yeah.
again, like you said, he caught a lot of heat for blocking Donald Trump. Again, I would never run a public company because what you're not about to do is if I've started or co-founded a company, then you ask me or request for me to step down, so
When
maybe
this is mine.
this is
I
what I
did this.
built. Whatever it is, good or bad, I get
Right.
it, whether, so I'm pretty sure he kind of felt a certain type of way when, shareholders or whomever, the board, whomever asked him to step down back in the day, so he was like, you know what? I ain't got time
Forget
for all
y'all.
that. I ain't got time for all that. I'll go do something else.
Right.
So,
I'll go
we'll,
make even more money because his Twitter money is solidified.
right.
That legacy is
Hmm.
cemented, so he doesn't have to worry about that.
Right, right. So, yeah, we'll see. But like you mentioned, Twitter is pretty much on autopilot. Um, Twitter has the same issues Facebook and all these other companies or
Yeah.
social media platforms have, and that problem ain't going nowhere. So,
Nowhere.
so Jack was like, "Yeah, let me get off that ship."
They're not about to put nothing else on me.
Right.